Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. All right guys, I got a couple of cool announcements for you that I finally managed to shoehorn out of people, and I got a huge one. Let's get this going. All right guys, so you can see by the name of the video what we're doing, and this had to be done. I think everybody out there would probably agree this needed to be done, and we'll get to this in a second. First of all, the Walther PDP. Now this is the launcher that all of you guys have been asking me about. I literally have 20 of them on order. I just got off the phone with Umarex. Because of some sort of an import issue, the PDP is not going to be available to us until April. That's what I'm being told. Consequently, that's also the same time that they're going to have that new, pepper spray pistol thing, looks like a Kimber, and that's also the time they're going to have the glass breaker ammunition. So hopefully all of this will come together in April, and May is going to be a pretty cool month for all of us. But you guys had to know about that one, because when I talked to them, I was like, guys, they're chomping at it. We got to get the PDPs in here. So now you know what's going on with that. The next one. Another interesting phone call I had this morning was with Mercury Rise. As it turns out, they had something called, this is not even a joke, guy, an X-ray block on a huge crate of the new upgrades for their torpedo revolvers. Guys, I have no idea what the upgrade is or what it's going to consist of, nor do I know what it's going to cost yet. They are going to send one. We're going to have one for the show so that I can show you guys what it is and how to do it. And then hopefully we'll have those available too. So stay tuned on that one. I know we're also looking forward to that one because I love that torpedo revolver. So in fact, frankly, we need to do another video on that. We haven't done that in quite a while. And guys, this announcement is huge. Now, look, you saw SHOT Show on Thursday of this week. So we're talking about, today is Tuesday, so 2 days. I have a meeting with a CEO who was flown down here from his corporate office and brought a launcher, leased out an entire gun range so that we can demo this and get it filmed. What would you say if I told you that, should I tell you? I don't know. I may make you wait on some of this, but I'll tell you one thing. I was told that the stock launchers are going to fire somewhere between the 28 to 30 range on joules, and there will be an upgrade available out of the box, literally twist in, that will take it up to 60 joules. That's all I'm telling you. You're going to have to wait till Thursday and see what happens. I cannot wait to share that with you guys. So hopefully, with a little luck, that video will drop Thursday night. Odds are it'll probably be more like Friday, maybe Saturday, because I want to do this justice for you guys. So yeah. But today, here we go. We're going to test out the two, what I would consider budget 68 caliber launchers. Now, granted, the Salt Supply is not quite as inexpensive as the Sabre, but they're both considerably less expensive than the next 68 caliber in line, and we all know who those guys are. So I want to put these two head to head. Now, originally when I did this video, I also planned to bring out our LTL Alpha. I have heard a rumor that the LTL Charlie is out. If the rumors are correct, and from what I have read, the LTL Charlie loads a lot like the Salt Supply from the front. That seems to be a mechanism that more and more people are moving to. And once again, as explained by Eric at Salt Supply, this has something to do with the way the air distribution works. And if people are starting to do it, there must be a reason it's being done. So I'm going to dig into that a little more and find out myself. But I've already contacted LTL. I'm waiting on a response from them to get an LTL Charlie in here as soon as they're available so we can test it. So, all right, guys, you've seen both these launchers. You know what the Sabre looks like. And yeah, this was an impressive launcher, and you know what the Salt Supply looks like. I tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to unbox both of these, and then let me tell you the criteria that we're going to test these things on. Be right back. All right, guys, so as you guys can see by Stumpy here, we've actually got these unboxed and I've got them sitting by side. One thing I wanted to point out is you can see how close these two launchers are as far as size goes. In fact, if you take the Salt Supply and put it on top of the Sabre, you're going to see that the Sabre is actually a tiny bit larger than the Salt Supply. And as you can see, the grip is moved considerably more forward on the launcher. Now, guys, I understand the concept of this, and I know why they did this, and the positioning is understandable. It's very, very blocky. You guys can actually see that. I have whole videos out on both of these. You guys can go back a couple of videos and watch them if you want to. But one thing I do like is that it does have this rear safety on this for your, before you can fire, you have to actually press down on that safety, kind of like a 45 does. Now, the grip on the Salt Supply, guys, as you can see, is actually much further back on the launcher and feels considerably better. You're much more front heavy on the launcher, if you can actually call it front heavy. These are extremely light, but much more front heavy on the launcher. As far as the grip itself, you guys can see that the Salt Supply and the Sabre are actually pretty close to the exact same size, with the exception of the magazine, which is protruding out of the bottom of the Sabre. Now, the magazine feature is one thing that we really do like on the Sabre. I like the concept of having a magazine on here. And as you guys can see, the CO2 is held here, and the rounds are loaded in here from the top. This is a really cool design, except, always got to be an except, the only thing about that I do not like is that it's got the twist to puncture. If you are in a situation that is going to require that you make a split-second decision, pulling your launcher out and having to remember to twist this to puncture it, and then hoping you were right up at that point so you didn't have to twist it a little bit further in order to puncture the CO2, and then fire it, becomes problematic because you're dealing with a lot of variables there. The Salt Supply, on the other hand, doesn't have a magazine like that. So your rounds load in from the front, but your CO2 is down here, and it's always there but not charged until you need it. On the Salt Supply, you pull the launcher up, pop the bottom once, you've punctured the CO2, and you're ready to go. Very, very simple. That is one feature of the Salt Supply that I definitely do like. By the way, guys, the Salt Supply is a heavier launcher. It is definitely a heavier launcher. You can feel the difference in construction. Okay, listen. Hear the difference? You can feel the difference in construction. You can tell the Salt Supply is built heavier. It's definitely a heavier construction. As far as the magazines itself, guys, the Salt Supply is relatively unique, although, as we stated, this seems to be the way that people are going these days. You have to have the weapon on safety in order to eject the magazine. You eject the magazine by pushing this button right here, and it will come out with some force, guys. So when you eject it, if you're not having your finger over it, it'll fire right on out of there. Now, this is another nice thing. You can have several of these fully loaded in a very small pouch and be ready to go in an instant. I mean, popping that thing out there, you saw that like flew out of there, pop it right back in and you're ready to go again. That's actually a pretty cool loading mechanism on this. On this one, you're gonna deal magazines. So you're gonna have to have a second magazine over here. You're gonna have to load the magazine and you're gonna have to twist to puncture it again. Now, if you are using this in a car, for instance, or at your house for home protection, that's no big deal, because if you have to pick it up for home protection, you're gonna charge the launcher and then go out and take care of the situation. You're not charging out like Rambo. But that's not too bad for that. But I think in a situation where it's split second, I need to pull my launcher and fire, you're gonna want that puncture. You see, that's the natural flow there. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna test, we already have videos up with Velocity. Do you guys wanna go back there and check out the videos? I will toss a couple of links up here for you for the Salt Supply, and then I'll toss a link up here for the Sabre. Both links to buy these will be down there on Amazon. Those are affiliate links, so anytime you buy them, they do help the channel out, but don't cost you any more, which is really cool. What I am concerned about today is accuracy, and I'll tell you why once we get out here. Here we go. Now I've got both launchers completely loaded up. I've hot loaded this, so we've got 6 in the Salt Supply, and we've got 7 in the Sabre. We're using a standard 12-gram cartridge. Coincidentally, it's a Byrna cartridge. It doesn't really matter, though. We know that. And I'm going to go ahead and use these Pavashot inert rounds. And the reason being, guys, is because they are incredibly stable on weight. And they are weighing in at 3.2 grams. This is exactly, they are standard across the board, 3.2 gram. Which means that hopefully each shot will be in the same place in theory. So in other words, if you got a 3.2 and you got a 3.5, the rounds are good. Your elevation is going to be a little bit different because your velocity it stays constant, or at least relatively constant. So here's what we're going to do. These are the rounds we got loaded. One magazine each. Let's move out to the range. Here we go. Now guys, as you can see, we're actually on our range here. We got two Scullies sitting down there. Now, okay, total transparency. Those are Scullies we've already fired out. But on this side of the skull, on the right-hand side, totally clear. No hits have ever been taken on them. Now, somebody in a comment made a comment about the range I was firing from and that I should tape off something on the floor. That's actually a really good idea. So, what I want to show you, we normally shoot at that, well, 3 to 5 is average for self-defense, but we shoot about 21 feet. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're 8 feet to the, or 8 paces to the camera. That's roughly 24 feet, give or take. We are taped off right here. Now, what I'm going to do is, instead of moving the camera up to Scully and letting you see the hit, so you can verify that I am as good of a shot as I say I am, I'm going to move the camera right here to the side. So we're in the same spot, but you'll be able to see Scully. Now, as I recall, the salt supply shoots a little high. So the first shots on these are going to be like a line-in shot, and then hopefully we'll be back to normal again. We're going to start with our Sabre, okay? So right now I have got the CO2 cartridge up there. It's snug, but it's not tight. I want to see what it takes to actually puncture it. So here we go. We're going to turn it. See, that was almost a half a turn, guys. And there it is, right there. So it was almost a full turn after being snug. This is what I'm talking about in a crisis situation. You're not going to have time to think about that stuff. But, all right, go back here by the camera. And glasses on. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this in. I'm going to shoot for the Scully on the right. I'm not sure I'm shooting high or low. Right there. I'm going to keep, there we go. As you guys can see, hang on a second here. All right, as you guys can see, I don't lie. All right, so your first shots in hit the right hand, oh my gosh. Yeah, I think we destroyed poor Scully here, guys. So, coming up, remember we were talking about the right-hand side of the skull, nice and clean. This is the first 3 shots, bam, bam, bam. The first shot I had to dial in because it was actually aiming a little bit high. So, once I dialed it in, he flipped down, landed like that, and that's where we hit in the back. So, very accurate. Now, we knew the Sabre was very accurate. It's always been very accurate. Now, let's try our salt supply. Now, guys, you heard it. You can hear what it sounds like because you're firing from right here on my chest, so you can hear what this sounds like. Let's try the salt supply. All right, now right now we're on safety, but it doesn't matter. If you're on fire, you can still charge the launcher, but we're going to leave it on safety, charge it. There you go. And now we're going to see what I mean, by the way, guys? If you're in a crisis situation, that's all there was to it. You're ready to go. So, all right, moving back behind it. Here we go. I'm going to try to keep it in there, and we're going to give it a shot. God, you cannot tell me you can't hear the difference, guys. Once again, a little high, so we're aiming lower. All right, hold on a second. All right. Okay, first of all, bringing her up. There we go. So, direct hits in there, and as you can see, actually they went completely through. That's kind of, well, yeah, those are supposed to be simulated pepper balls, but you get the idea of the kind of impact that you're going to get. And more importantly, I don't know if you guys can see this or not only did it go through Scully, but it actually went through my wall right here, through my backer, through the wall, and into the backpack. A cloud over here. But you get the idea. They're both very accurate. They both seem to fire about 4 inches high at 24 feet, which is pretty interesting. Let's go back in here. Let's talk about this a little. Here we go. I want to point out that in all honesty, either of these is a fantastic launcher. A fantastic launcher. Guys, the price range that the Sabre comes in, you've seen it, is unbeatable by any launcher that I have ever seen that comes in at 68 caliber. That is for the price, which by the way, I heard rumors were down to like 130, is probably one of the best launchers you can buy at that price range. Given the comparison between the two of them, now this is once again my personal opinion, all right? So everybody out there, your mileage may vary from bit to bit. I know that a lot of you guys do not like yellow on the Sabre. However, we are going to do something about that in a very soon video, so don't worry about that. I think we can dye this the exact same way we do on the other ones to make it black, in which case it's going to look pretty sick, but we'll get to that later. If I were picking weapon for EDC, in other words, I was going to carry this thing, I would pick the Salt Supply. If I were going to pick a weapon for my car for an emergency, oh my gosh, I got to get it out and use it, I would probably still pick the Salt Supply. If I had a choice at my house and I was just had to pick one or a couple of them to put around different places in the house, either one of them is going to be fine. I don't think I would throw either one of these away. I think they would both work just fine without a problem. The loading mechanism, obviously, on the Sabre is nice. One other thing. You can get about 3 magazines out of the Sabre on average. You can get maybe 2 out of the Salt Supply just because of the velocity it's cranking out. So you can get more rounds out of the Sabre, but once again, most encounters are solved in the first 4 rounds. That's just the way it is, no matter how you look at it. So in general, you're going to fire this thing and it's going to hit like a freight train, and that's kind of what you're looking for. But either way, guys, I don't think you could go wrong with either launcher. Personally, this is a better launcher. The Salt Supply is a better launcher, but they can't beat with this price. I mean, you cannot compete with that price for the functions you get on this launcher. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, Thursday. I wish I could tell you more about this. I had a meeting that was almost an hour with this guy, watching them build. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. There's just so much cool stuff coming. Have a great week, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.